What's up, YouTube? It's Todd Horst here with Tasty Tracker. Market's down generally today. I'm not sure, we might cross 0% shortly, but this is even after the stimulus package that says the government can buy as many equities as they need. There's no cap on anything, and that's pretty much par for the course. Things have been going down even after stimulus packages are announced. As to be expected, people are still pretty panicked. I don't think we've hit the peak, and with it only being at 225 here, I'm pretty sure we can hit 200 pretty easily and go beyond that, below that. So I'm thinking another a bearish play is in order. I haven't done much up until this point because I was trying to see where things would go, where we would bottom out, but since at this point I don't think we're there yet and we still got some room to go down, it's good enough to put a position on. So if I'm thinking about where I want to put the position on, I'm looking at the number of cases that we have for each country. USA is number 3 here with 35,000 cases, and we're getting between 1 and 5,000 cases each day. ETF that I trade on a regular basis, apart from recently, is Mexico. And so if we go down to where Mexico is on the list, they're the entire way down here, which I didn't bother to count, but we'll say 20, 25 down, and they're only getting 65 cases total, 316. Now I know that's dependent on the number of tests that are being done, but I expect a huge ramp up in Mexico because of them being our neighbors to the south. So if they do get a huge ramp up, I wouldn't be surprised if EWW takes a hit. I know obviously they've already taken a hit, but you can see they're not a very large moving ETF anyway, so it stays in a pretty tight range. So even if we do get news that say a vaccine is done, which they're not expecting for another year at the very minimum, I wouldn't expect a huge jump up. It'll probably slowly climb back up here. So this is the daily chart for EWW. Okay, so let's go to the trade tab. I already have EWW pulled up. Because this is a bearish play and I want it to be a little bit more short term because I'm bullish long term, then I'm going to select something closer to 30 days. Here we have a 32-day, but that's a weekly play. So here we have a 25-day play, and that might be nice. It's a short period of time, and normally I wouldn't go that close, but with IV being so high, I think we can still get a pretty good premium. So we'll do a short call. Again, that's meaning that I want the ETF to go down. So if I click next, it'll go ahead and tell me if EWW is below 27.56, then I would make $56. Okay, so let's go over here, and I'm going to, I already have a line here that I've had from last time I traded them. So this is 27.56. 27.56, and this just gives me a visual of what what terms I'm accepting here. So right now we can see that gives us a little bit of a percentage or two buffer. Again, normally if I was doing this and it would be bullish, I would go maybe up a couple strikes, but it is at the 40% in the money, which is typically what I like to hang around. Now, I typically do $500 per position, so I could come the whole way up to 32, and that would give us a $5 wide spread. But if we go to mid price here, you can see that the prices drastically drop off. So pardon my wife's doing construction in the house, but we can see here there's around $50, and then we go to $40, and then we're going down to $30. So each step down that I spread the strikes out, I lose quite a bit of money with each step. So I could take 160 for this, and let's pull up a calculator here. Okay, so since the total width is 500, we could do. So that would be, I'd be risking 340 for 160. That's not terrible, but instead of doing that, I can leave it a $1 wide and just increment the quantity. Now I'm getting 54 times 5, 270 instead of 160. So the difference is there that the Greeks will be, there's less of a difference between 27 and 28 than there is from 27 to 32. So if you have a wider spread, the leg that I sold will degrade quicker, and so you'll be able to take a profit quicker. However, with a tight spread like this, they sort of negate each other as far as Greeks are concerned. So this really needs to be a bump down in the underlying price, or again, if it stays consistent. Now, the flip side of that is if I'm looking to get a 50% off of this position, I can take 0.52 times 0.5, and it's got to go from 26. So it only has $26 that it needs to change in value, whereas if we went with the 160 and divided that by 2, obviously, it would be $80. So it has to travel less distance, but it's harder to travel that distance because the Greeks cancel out each other. I hope all of that made sense. So anyway, so I'm going to go ahead with this. So within 25 days, if it stays below 27.50, then I will get 260. And this is a sort of a 50-50 split. This is very generous because of IV being so high. Typically, you might see risking 1/3 to get 2/3, or risking 2/3 to get 1/3 is typically what you're doing. But a 50-50 split, and this is actually even over that, obviously, is pretty generous. So we'll go ahead and submit that. Now, whether you want to sit here is up to you. If you play with this price too much, because it's such a low amount and we're selling multiple quantities of this, you're really taking a hit, because each penny that I go down is actually 5 pennies or $5. So you can't adjust too quickly, or at least know that when you do that, you're going to be significantly reducing your profitability. But I will go ahead and put it down to 51, see if we can get a fill on that. And again, this is all in your patience and what you want out of it. If you're really insistent on getting that 50, then you could potentially go out another month to another expiration. But for the sake of this demonstration, I'll try to get it filled somewhat quickly. Now we're down to exactly 50-50 split. Go over here and check SPY, see what it's doing. Yeah, it's going down, which actually, if it were to pump up a little bit, that would give me a little bit better pricing. We should bounce here, unless this move has legs. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that EWW would bounce as well, but because this is a market extreme, everything is basically correlated with one another. So as the general market's moving down, I expect it to go down as well. So let's obviously move to like a 5-minute chart. It's getting close to yeah, we'll see if it can stick here. So normally I probably wouldn't rush this. I would just sit on the 50, maybe go down to 49, but I don't want to rush the entry and really kill the amount of premium I'm going to accept for this, especially when you know, a couple minutes ago it was right there. Now obviously that's like I said, it's a balancing act on how quickly you want to get filled. Sometimes if you are too stubborn, then you're never going to get filled. But I think we might get another leg up. So actually, I'm going to call the video here. I will release in Tasty Tracker when I actually get filled. But I don't want to, you know, waste everybody's time here while I'm sitting here. Hopefully I'll get filled around 49 or 50, and I will update the video with a comment saying that when I do get filled. Thanks, guys.